had I listened to the people in my life who loved me dearly, okay, but they would always say things like, I always thought you were beautiful. I always thought you had a beautiful face and I love you just the way you are. I appreciate that, but I wasn't healthy. And it took somebody who didn't know me to tell me I wasn't healthy. This wasn't good for me.
What's going on, America? I am Oliver Mack, the right-winged angel, and I have another very special guest today. I have Monique Peters. What's going on,
What's
ma'am?
up? What's up? What's up? It's about time I get on here. I've
Hey,
been waiting.
it's great to have you. I know you're a firecracker, so I know this is going to be a great interview. All right, so I wanted you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself, how you got started, and your story.
Awesome. So a lot of people don't know this about me unless you followed me, 7 or 8 years ago when I started my YouTube channel, about my weight loss. I used to weigh 400 pounds, went through
Jesus,
having, yes, good Lord.
good Lord.
I'm sure Jesse Lee Peterson would have some type of phrase to say about that.
Of course.
Anyways, I was 400 pounds. I went through gastric bypass to lose the weight, but decided to document that journey because a lot of people don't realize that you don't just go get surgery and then everything's magically fixed.
Right.
You actually have to like put work into it.
Yeah.
But in the process of it, I realized that it was much more than physical weight that I was having to shed.
Mm-hmm.
So my channel was really about like documenting that process. And about 7 years after I had like lost hundreds of pounds, I had another crazy event in my life. And I had a daughter that was suffering with depression and was being bullied. And I document this on my channel. I did a video with her and she shares her story, but she ultimately went through a phase of like self-harming and tried to hurt herself at school. And they found her on the floor of the bathroom, had cut her wrists, and it was really, really traumatic. But in that process, I realized that I still myself had so much more growing to do because now I was like realizing she was paying attention to everything I was doing. And she was dealing with things in life the way I was dealing with life, which was to not fully be authentic with myself, to portray myself a way that people wanted to see me. And she was emulating that. So the George Floyd incident happened, and I was like everybody else, super wrapped up in it, had a lot to say about it. I was following Brandon Tatum at the time, was like super inspired by him, which I know you are as well.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to make a video about it. And I made a video and just expressed my thoughts on it. It like, got like, I think it got like 40,000 views on it, like pretty quick, but like,
nice.
People had a lot to say. And I'm sitting outside my house one day and all these calls start coming in and people were like, you're on Fox. Laura Ingraham was playing her video on Fox. And I was like, what? Yeah. So that's kind of like what popped off my channel. And at that point, I was like, okay, this feels really good to just be me and to just say the things that are on my mind and not care what anybody else thinks. And my daughter's watching me and I need to show her that this is okay. Like you can be you. You don't need to please everybody. And that's how it came about. So
wow. That's an awesome story, and I appreciate everything that you went through because you're an example of perseverance and getting through that and be able to push through. I know weight loss is a struggle for a lot of people, even myself. I was at the point probably like 4 or 5 years ago where I weighed 60 more pounds than I do now, and I was able to shed 60 pounds within 7 months. So I can definitely understand what it's like, to put on the weight and then try to have to lose it. It's definitely a struggle. And, I didn't lose 400 pounds. So,
but that's that's a lot.
I didn't have as far to go, but, losing 60 wasn't easy. So I can't imagine. I can't imagine what it's like to lose 400.
Yeah.
But we're going to get into politics. Of course, we got to get into politics, but
Of course.
I wanted to talk a little bit about, the weight loss, because on the left, we have this body positivity movement, right? Where they're basically saying no matter how much you weigh, you should always feel like you are healthy, right? You should always feel like you are the epitome of what a woman should look like. So we have this going around the left, and in my opinion, I think it's very, very, very unhealthy. I think it's very, very detrimental to our society to push that, especially on children. You have people like Lizzo who's out there just saying, "Oh, you should feel this way, even no matter how much you weigh," and she's going out there wearing thongs and bikinis and just have everything just out there for the world to see. And I'm just flabbergasted by how she is just so popular doing that, and kind of, making a fool of herself a little bit, because she's wearing pasties with sheer purple dresses and stuff like that. So I'm just like, whoa, Lizzo, you got to chill out, because I don't think you're sending a good message to these little girls out there. So what do you think about this whole body positivity movement that's going on right now?
Honestly, it really just makes me angry that these people that have such a huge platform like Lizzo, and then you have Tess Holiday, who is a plus size model. She had made a video. She's also very big in the LGBTQ movement. But you have this huge platform, and you're using it to tell little girls, because let's be real. I mean, these are the girls that are impressionable,
Right.
that this is beautiful, this is healthy, you should be accepted the way you are, when darn well it's not healthy. Okay, now to some people it may be beautiful. Everybody has different tastes, and they like different things, and that's fine. And if you are happy the way you are, great. But don't go and tell a lie and say that this is good for you, because it's
Right.
not good for you. Okay, I speak from experience, and I'm very, very critical of these women. And I come from a place of somebody who literally was told that I might have 5 years to live if I continue down the path that I was going. Either
Wow.
I was going to have a stroke, I was going to have a heart attack, I was already pre-diabetic, I couldn't fit into chairs like in sporting events, I couldn't go on rides at amusement parks.
Wow.
And that's the side that they don't tell these people. They make it seem so glamorous, and yeah, you're going to look great because you have a whole style team, and people that are photoshopping and editing all your photos to make you look good.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is it's not healthy to be that way, and you don't feel good when you're that weight. It is sending a very, very dangerous message, not just to young women, but to men and women, because I think both sides are probably listening to this thinking, well, Lizzo said it's okay to be, large and in charge. And personally, I mean, I used to be a big girl. I look at Lizzo and I think it's disgusting. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's disgusting to see it. I think you can be a big woman and still be modest and dress well for your body type, right? You
Yeah.
don't have to be in a thong, with your butt cheeks hanging out, with your breasts hanging out. I think it's disrespectful to yourself to put yourself out there like that. So
Yeah, and there's this big double standard, right? So we can have plus size female models, we can have Lizzo walking around with thongs and pasties, but what happens when a man who's overweight tries to do the same thing, right? He gets ridiculed,
mhm.
he gets laughed at. It's the fat guy has always been a joke. And all the movies and TV shows, they're always made fun of the fat guy. But for some
Yeah.
reason, you can't say anything about overweight women or you will get canceled. So why do you
Mhm.
think there's this big double standard when in terms of that thing?
I was just having this conversation with my friend today, and he was laughing at me, but I think honestly, Oliver, I think all this stuff that's going on, from the body positivity to the LGBTQ movement to, the women, are women can do what men can do. I think all of that is being run by female energy, because men don't think like that. And I think that, I don't know what's wrong with women. Sometimes I sit here as a woman and I'm just like, I hate to sometimes be associated with these women that are saying this stuff. And that's why I have my platform where I'm literally like, no, I'm not with them. I'm not with what they're saying at all.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know this is a very controversial subject, but I really like people like Kevin Samuels who call these women to the
Me
carpet.
too.
Yes. Okay. To call these women to the carpet and let them know you don't bring anything to the table. You're not all that,
Right.
and that just is what it is. Women need to realize it is unfair if you want to look at it that in this world, a man doesn't have to necessarily have the best body, doesn't have to look the best, and he could probably still grab a decent woman, right? If he's got enough money or he's got a nice car.
Mm-hmm.
But women need to take care of themselves too. Women, I'm sorry, but we have to uphold a certain standard that men just don't have to uphold, and it's not fair, but life's not fair. So get over it.
But I would say there's a flip side to that coin as well. So women who are beautiful or even decent looking, I think they will get positions in certain jobs and different things because they're women, because of their looks, that the men who look decent wouldn't get, right? So I think we do have a trade-off in that regard because women do benefit from their looks more than men. And, we have all this makeup and all these surgeries that women can do to achieve these looks that they're going after, in the hair. Of course, Black women, they like to wear weave, so they can do stuff like that to achieve a certain look. So, I think in that regard, I think it's an even trade-off because women better benefit from their looks, men not so much. But there are men out there who are not decent looking, but they have money, or they have some kind of status, and women who are beautiful will go for those men. And I think that's the difference between men and women kind of showing through, because men are more visual, right? So when we're looking for a partner, looking for a mate, we look at looks. With women, they're looking for more security when they're looking for a partner. So they're looking for someone who has a good job, someone who has a good status or whatever, so they can find that security. And looks may not be the top of the list, but I think for men it is. And that's just based on our attributes, based on our makeup as men and women. So, yeah,
Right.
I mean, when you look at someone like Kevin Samuels, who, like you said, he tells it like it is. He'll tell these women a lot of things that no one has ever told them before. And I think that's what really shocks them, because I think a lot of times women go through life and everybody around them is just lying to them.
Yes.
Like 24/7, everybody is lying to them. Nobody is keeping it real, from their mothers to their fathers to men that they interact with. Everybody just telling them, oh, you're great, you're this, you're that, you're the most beautiful woman, you have this, you have that. And these women are just getting these swole heads. So when someone actually tells them, honestly, you're not all that, you could tend to lose some weight, you don't have a good job. Like when somebody's telling them that, they're like, what?
Yeah, they just cannot even handle it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But guess what? Here's a secret. Here's a secret about that. I guarantee you that most of those women that go on Kevin Samuel's show, when he tells them all this stuff that they'd never heard before and they're so shocked, I guarantee you Kevin Samuel could pull any one of those women and still sleep with them. Because
right after he insults them.
Right. Some women, they're like, okay, well, I've never heard this before, so I'm hearing something different. I'm intrigued by that. Once they get over the initial shock, they're intrigued by that, and they're like, oh, he's acting like he doesn't need me. He's acting like he doesn't want me. That makes me want him.
Yeah.
So,
I know. It's like that boy, the boy that hits you in the playground, he hits you because he likes you, that type of thing. It's funny. When I was growing up, I was always like the chubbier kid. I mean, I didn't always have like an extreme weight problem, but as I got older and it was like obese, like morbidly obese, nobody ever told me, except for my mother. She would tell me like in a nice way, like, maybe you need to lose some weight. but nobody ever told me anything like that I really needed to hear. They were always like, you have a pretty face, you
Yeah.
know, that
Hmm.
thing. Until one time I go to a doctor and he says to me, why are you so fat? I was just like, now, this was when I had just had my daughter and we were visiting my parents in Argentina.
Hmm.
And I went to a doctor's appointment with my mom and I was seeing her doctor, it was her diabetes doctor.
Yeah.
And my parents lived there. And he said that to me. And I literally wanted to cry because nobody had ever said that to me. And I remember like looking up and I just go, I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. And
Wow.
I did know because I ate late at night. I didn't exercise. You know, I was in and out of drive-throughs, getting fast food all the time.
Hmm.
But nobody had really ever challenged me with that question. And that was so crucial. So I always say to people, get people in your life who tell you things you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
That is so important to have. And not a lot of people can handle that because they like to surround themselves with people who make them feel good.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
those people that'll tell you like it is, man, you got to keep those people.
Yeah. Those people are the most important people to have in your life. You don't want a lot of yes men or yes women around you because those
Yeah,
people will stunt your growth as a person. And
right.
this you said this doctor was in Argentina, or was that
Hmm.
doctor here?
Oh, yeah, because an
Oh
American
yeah, because
doctor
they
would
can't.
never
Right?
tell.
No, 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 no.
No,
That
no, no. They
doctor
would be
would be
slapped. Yeah.
fired.
Yes, they would be slapped with a lawsuit. So in Argentina, there's no laws like that. You know, they don't care.
Yeah.
They'll tell you whatever they want to tell you. So yeah, it's different out there. But I was really,
Wow.
really grateful for that moment because it was after that that I came back and I went to my own doctor and I was like, I have to do something
Yeah.
drastic. And I didn't have the time for diet. They
Hmm.
didn't think that I was going to make it
Yeah.
past that. So yeah, I had to do something really drastic.
Yeah. Wow. So think about that. Like if it wasn't for that doctor telling you like it was and keeping it real with you, then you may have not made the changes that, ultimately, you would think that it saved your life, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I like to say that, you know, obviously my decisions saved my life, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
um I think it's important for, you know, it's like what we do on social media, right? It's like what you do. You pose a question to make people think, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not telling them what to think. You're asking them, what do you think about this? Or how do you feel about this? And you allow them to make their own, you know, to develop their own thought process around that. And that's really kind of what my experience was, is he asked me that question and it stuck to me. Like
Yeah.
it just like embedded itself in me and I couldn't get it off my mind. And I was like, why am I like this? I'm a young mother. Like I'm not going to live to see my kid grow up if I
Mm-hmm.
keep going down this. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Awesome story. Before we go forward, why don't you guys make sure you smash that like button? I like to say the word smash the like button because it's a
Smash
little
it.
more aggressive. So yeah, make sure you smash that like button so this video can be shared all around. I think this is a very important topic that we're discussing. Hey, it could save some people's lives. So make sure that you share this video out with your friends and family and check out the other videos as well. And check out Monique's videos too. But after you finish watching this interview. All right. So let's get into something that's a little more controversial. So I told you guys we were going to start talking about politics. So we got to start talking about politics. But I wanted to talk about something that it's really important. We'll be approaching election season next year. So there's one thing that we have to do in this conservative movement when we're approaching election season, and that is to weed out all the grifters, to weed out all the fake Republicans, fake conservatives that are going to do nothing but hinder our movement and everything that we're trying to accomplish. So there was someone, I think he's a congressional candidate, is that correct?
Yes.
And his name is Alex
Stovall.
Stovall. And
Hmm.
this person was actually featured on a Project Veritas video. So, if you're on Project Veritas, you made it, right? So he made it. He made it big time. And this person was on caught by Project Veritas saying that all Republicans need to go to prison or something like that. And he had a lot of choice words for Candace Owens. So I know you watched that video. Is that correct?
Yes, I
So
did several times.
why don't you tell them a little bit about this person, and if you have any other information about him, please share.
So I really didn't know who he was before the video. I kind of like read up on him that he was a vet. I don't know if he was in the Marines or something like that, but he was a veteran. Was in public or was running for public office, Black conservative. He had been backed by a lot of people. He was the poster boy for the Black conservatives, to look at and go, oh, this is the guy that we need here, and seemed to be saying and doing all the right things. And then Project Veritas caught him doing quite the opposite.
Right.
Here's the thing that I think about it. Okay. Now, I don't agree with everything he was saying in that video, but I want people to understand there's actually a lot of stuff that I was like, yeah, he could be kind of right in that video. But the problem is that he was saying one thing in that video and saying another in other areas where he was speaking on, things like election fraud and Candace and Trump. He was speaking ill of them in this video, but on, other videos saying something totally different. So, that's kind of how we've gotten to where we identify these rhinos like him and Kim Klacik and, all the ones that lately have been kind of exposed. I know Corinne's always exposing people left and right.
Shout out Corinne Tatum.
Shout out to Corinne Tatum. She's like, man, she is a beast when it comes to researching these people, her and Camille Bethany. Yeah. So, I think it is a really good thing that they're starting to expose. I love that Project Veritas is doing this. There's so many of these people that I think, are like Alex, right? They're doing the same thing he's doing, but nobody's seeing it. And I'm pretty sure it's more than we even want to believe there is. I think.
Oh, I know. I already know that.
Oh, yeah. There needs to be term limits because these people need to go. Okay. Like that's where they need to start. First of all, they need to start there. But, I want to encourage people. Yes, the presidential election's coming up. It's very, very important. But you guys have to get involved at a local level of knowing and researching your local candidates. Yes, it's important who's running the country. Absolutely. But the people that are going and voting on behalf of us up in Washington, those are the people we need to be really keeping an eye on. And up until now, they have really been sliding under the radar. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I mean, I think the recent stuff that has gone on with the election fraud and all this other stuff has really shed light on how many people have just been coasting this entire time and have been, continuing to stay in their seats in Congress and not doing what they promised they would do for us and not fighting for us individually. And we go to the voting box in our city and we just check down the list until you get to the president candidate. And then that's the one you really care about. Right. And, that really needs to change.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people that are sitting in Congress that do not have our best interests at heart. They don't care about the common person. There's a lot of people that are just sitting there and just getting rich off their position. And it's sad. It's definitely sad for us. But fortunately, I think the whole MAGA movement and when Trump became president, it kind of ignited a lot of people to really start paying attention to politics. Because, I can say a lot of people that I knew said nothing about politics until after Trump was elected and started to just pay attention to the congressional seats. And we started hearing a lot of our congressmen and women just starting to speak up, and we started getting to know a lot of them. Now that we're activated and more politically involved, now we need to start doing some research into these people and who they really are. And I'm glad that Project Veritas did that video. I'm sure there'll be more videos coming, but this kind of lets you know. Now, do you think that any left-wing type Project Veritases would have done or put out a video about a Democrat running. I highly doubt that. So just to
No.
see that, yeah, just to see that Project Veritas is willing to expose a Republican candidate just tells you what side we're on. Like, we're on the side that wants to check everybody, right? Like, we're not just biased and saying, oh, well, if they're on our side, we'll leave them alone. We'll only expose Democrats. No, we got to expose everybody. And I'm someone who strongly believes in that. I'm not going to just ignore someone who is doing bad things, doing shady things just because they vote red. Forget that. We don't need anybody in our party, anybody representing us who's not willing to fight for us. And someone like that, Alex Stovall, someone like that who says one thing on camera and then says something else behind closed doors, we know we can't trust that person. So why would we want that person in Congress representing us? I don't. I know I don't.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I can't give too much information here, but I was receiving a lot of interesting findings from people like the Internet Sleuths. They go looking through, they can go find all this, their social media handles, their Facebook pages, if they have local community, groups that they're a part of. I mean, these people, they find it all. And I've gotten some stuff that I'm just like, wow, like this guy was shady. Okay. Good thing we're catching him now. But you know what? You're right. The left would never do something like this. They only do it after, it's like Cuomo, like they fought for him up until the end, until they couldn't fight for him anymore.
Till they could not fight for him anymore. Yep.
And now they're just eating him alive. I mean, they're eating him alive on talk shows and the press. They've turned their back on him completely, but that's what they do, Right. So I'm really proud of us that we're doing this type of thing. And I think a lot of conservatives like us need to be more outspoken about our views. Because I know a lot of people will say, oh, you're a Trumper and nothing he does is ever wrong. And I'm like, no, I've called out many things that he has said and done that I don't believe in. Most recently, his, connection with this log cabin group that's, like the gay conservative group.
Right.
I've called out that. I don't agree with that. That makes me not want to vote for him if he were to run again, because that's not something that I really want to be ushered in to the conservative movement any more than it already has. So, yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. We call it like it is. I don't care who it is. We'll call them out. Now, I wanted to ask you about something. So you can see there's a clear divide in the conservative movement. So it seems like there's conservatives that support Candace, and then there's conservatives that don't support Candace. Just like what Alex Stovall said. He said, what did he say about Candace? He said that he would take her money, but he wouldn't invite her to dinner or something like that. And I'm
Christmas.
like, wow. Yeah, or invite her to Christmas. I'm like, wow, that's messed up. But why do you think this divide is between the conservative movement?
I don't know. Like, part of me wants to say, are these people really conservative?
I question that too.
Even in the rapper community, not, like we've got the Bryson and the Loza, and Loza refers to himself as a conservative. I'm like, you are not, okay? Not even a little conservative, So I think the divide exists because we're starting to really discover what being a conservative means, right? That it does actually mean having conservative values, upholding those conservative values. Right. At the same time, I do want to say that I don't think we all fit into a box either, right? Because they want to like put us in this little box that, we're all like Candace, or we're all like Trump, or we're all like, whatever. And we're just not. We're different. And we actually believe in very limited government, but we do believe in a core set of values that revolve around biblical values. Right. And we stick to those. So that doesn't mean that, we can't have, like, for instance, I get questioned this all the time because I talk about how I don't support the LGBTQ movement, but I have friends who are gay. And people don't understand that I'm not against gay people. I'm against it coming into being forced upon us in schools, you know, pushed upon our children, you know, having to make special concessions for people because they're gay, you know, that type of stuff, that I'm completely against. And, you know, people have a hard time because then all of a sudden you fall out of that little cookie cutter they want to put you in as a conservative. So I think that that's where some of the divide comes in.
Yeah, and I agree with that, because I had someone on the show I did an interview with, and he's a gay male, and he does not support the LGBT movement, just like I don't. So we have the same opinion about the movement, and he's gay. So you can be gay and also be against the movement trying to push all these things on our children,
Absolutely.
trying to push all these things on society, expecting us to conform to their definitions of words and their terms and different things like that. You know, I'm definitely against that. And I think there's a lot of gay people, especially in the conservative movement, that are also against that. So yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
But, you know, we are at a place where everyone is trying to put you in a box, no matter what side you're on. The left tries to put themselves in a box, and I think they fit more neatly in their box because it seems like they kind of go along with each other, whatever the narrative is, whatever the thing that they're trying to push is, they'll kind of just go along with it no matter what. We're the type of people who question everything, right? We just don't do what we're told. So even if our Republican politicians are saying, hey, we should do this, if they're saying, hey, we should wear masks or we should get the vaccine, conservatives are going to say, no. So it's not like, you know, we just go along with anybody. And I think that's the best way to be, right? Just to be free, because that's what we believe in. Yeah, that's, as conservatives, that's what we believe in. We believe in freedom. So freedom means we're not just following anybody. We do what we want to do. All right, Monique. Well, our time's running up, so I just wanted to kind of get you to tell everybody where they can find you and any last words you have.
Awesome. Well, I have a website, letstalkdarling.com. You can get to my merch from there. You can get to my social media from there. I post articles on there. I also have YouTube, letstalkdarling.com as well. Instagram is the same thing. Facebook is the same thing. So I'm the same name across all my platforms.
Very good. That makes it easy.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for having me and allowing me to share my story. What I really, you know, I've watched your YouTube. I think you have an amazing platform. You've had some amazing interviews. I love that we all have this incredibly different story as to how we got here. And you know, you've had Craig Long, who was an ex-felon, you know, you've had Jericho Green, you've had people that are gay, you know. So I follow you on social media and I see the attacks that you're just focused on one, you know, you just want to attack the Black community, but you're actually so uplifting. And, you know, I just want you to know how important what you're doing is, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. They really are attacking me right now. They got my Instagram page restricted. I was getting like thousands of likes and like tens of thousands of what do you call it? Engagement or interactions or views and stuff like that. And now I'm getting like 100. I guess it's just crazy. They got me. But hey, I'm gonna make it through. I'm gonna make it out. So I'm really trying to focus on YouTube because, you know, you're less likely to get banned or shadow banned on YouTube, like on Instagram. It's so easy for them to take your page down. Guys, you can still follow me on Instagram. I'm still going to be posting over there, trying to fight through this restriction, but I'm definitely going to be doing more on YouTube, having more guests on, having more interesting conversations, because I think that's the most important. The conversations are the most important, because I think they can reach more people. So we'll do this, and we'll continue to do this. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. I really, really appreciate it. Once again, make sure you smash that like button, hit the share button. If you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. My name is Oliver Mack, the Right-Winged Angel, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.
Bye, guys.